Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Evolve Metrics station. I'm Perry. Today, I have the great pleasure to talking with Daniel Alfon. Daniel joined LinkedIn in early 2004. He has made all the mistakes you can imagine, but came back to tell us what works today. And today, Daniel's clients get results organically. He publishes articles, interviews, and exclusive content about advanced LinkedIn strategies to clients on his website, danielalfon.com. So, Daniel, welcome to the show.
Eric, thank you very much for having me on the Evolve Metrics station.
Welcome to the station. My pleasure. So today the topic is about LinkedIn and referrals and how to, grow businesses on LinkedIn. But before we get into the main topic, can you just give me 60 seconds and tell us the quick origin story? How did you get started in this?
A pleasure. It was a starry night, February 2004, and I got a strange email from someone I trusted, and it was like, join this. And social wasn't even a thing. Facebook was not known. But because I trusted this person, I signed up. The website was called LinkedIn. It had worldwide less than 100,000 people. So maybe dozens in the UK, I would guess. And 3 years later, when I was a sales executive, LinkedIn helped me slash my sales cycle by 30%.
Wow.
And that's very the moment I decided I needed to dig deeper into this and see what's under the hood. And I specialized in LinkedIn. And since we started this very chat, hundreds of people have joined LinkedIn. Every second, 3 people sign up.
Wow. Sounds like you're the top 0.01, like top 0.1% of the people who join LinkedIn. That's a super cool background. And which leads to perfectly the next question I have for you today, which is for seventh to eight figure business owner who's selling B2C, who wants to grow their business further. What's your favorite strategy or tactic that's working really well right now to grow their business?
Another question, can we specifically discuss the right metrics?
Yes, yes, for sure. Metrics is super important. I would love to hear more about what your opinion on it.
Thank you very much. So let's say we're contemplating having a course, an online course about accelerated learning. People want to improve their use of AI or business help or stuff like that. And we start using LinkedIn, and I'll share 2 scenarios. Scenario
Hmm.
number one, we start with a webinar and we have 30 people signing up, Perry, for this webinar. Out of those, 25 people show up, and we only get 1 LinkedIn like and 0 LinkedIn comments. Second scenario would have 300 people registering to the webinar, 100 showing up. We would have 105 likes as well as 80 comments. Now, it may sound confusing, but most people would actually consider initially the second scenario to be better.
Hmm.
However, when we dive a bit deeper, what we need to focus on from my perspective are the actual revenues. So here's what we need to take into account. Out of the people who paid for the course, in the second scenario, only one person decided to work with you on the way to accelerate their learning. And in the first scenario, even though there were far fewer people who registered, 5 people bought the premium package and started working with you.
Hmm.
So in terms of your impact, in terms of your revenues, the first scenario, even though it sounded not very interesting and nothing close to viral, in terms of your revenues and in terms of your bank account, it's much better than the second scenario.
Hmm.
So let's get down to the basics. The right metrics to follow, from my perspective, are not the LinkedIn metrics.
Hmm.
I know many people are obsessed with the views they have, the impressions they have, the number of connections of followers they have, their SSI score, their endorsement, all sorts of LinkedIn metrics. However, if you run a business, then you want to leverage the platform and you don't want the platform to leverage you, which means that our job, Perry, is to focus on the business metrics. The business metrics are actual revenues, actual orders, and not the LinkedIn metrics. There could, when there's a gap, the one metrics we need to focus on is our revenues. Everything I said is really business 101, but many seven-figure and eight-figure entrepreneurs who are on LinkedIn think they need to serve the platform and forget that the platform is here to serve us. So the bottom line, forget the LinkedIn metrics, focus on your business metrics. If you work, the question to ask is, in my system, what is the best way I could leverage LinkedIn to impact my bottom line? And Perry, your answer could be X, and someone who's working direct to consumer may have another answer, but this is the question I would ask. Consider LinkedIn as a black box that needs to impact your bottom line. If you're successful, the LinkedIn metrics don't count. And if you're not successful, same applies. We don't want to be popular, we want to be successful. I hope.
That's 100%. A lot of people, I see that they're not just, this doesn't just apply on LinkedIn. The same goes for email marketing, same goes for Instagram. I've seen people got tons of followers on Instagram, got a huge mailing list on their email marketing platform. But, you know, when it comes to the open rate, when it comes to engagement, they could have great open rate and engagement, but when it comes to like the amount of revenue generated, those can be totally different story. Whereas at the same time, I've seen people with a tiny list of 50 people, but those people are hyper engaged and hyper responsive. You can generate 5, 6 figures with these small tribe of people instead of just focusing on the vanity metrics like engagement and likes. So my follow-up question would be, for those who are focusing on their vanity metrics, what would your advice for them to start shifting to focusing on revenue? What action can they implement starting this week to stop themselves from getting distracted and start implementing things that actually moves the needle?
So Perry, I love the question. The one thing everyone listening can perform today is very simple. If you had to pick one, ask yourself, in 5 years' time, would I, Perry, prefer to be the most connected on LinkedIn or the best connected? Let me say that again. If you had to pick one, because we naturally want both, would you rather be the most connected in a couple of years or the best connected? And the most connected would be similar to advertising, and the best connected would be similar to referrals.
Mm.
Advertising mean you invest a lot of money and a tiny portion actually purchases your product. Referrals is exactly what you said. We have a small tribe, but each one is willing to tell other people about our services, our course, our e-commerce website, and they would make our business grow. And trying to be both means you end up with very little of either. You can't have it both ways because basically when you grow the number of connections you have, you no longer know them. And if you stick to people you know, then you cannot have 40,000 connections. It doesn't make sense. Pick one, and the worst place to be is in between.
Mm. Those who try to chase two rabbits catches none. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
So one is more on the quality side and the other one is on the quantity side. And we want to focus on the quality, because at the end of the day, if you have tons of engagement and connections on LinkedIn, it would be useless if none of those convert.
Right. And I think you hit the nail on its head, because conversion and translating our vanity metrics to revenues is what counts.
Hmm.
And the person with 55 email subscribers that can translate it into £5,000 is more successful than someone who has 20,000 people subscribe, but only few of them ever engage or purchase anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the next question is, how do you then deepen the quality of that tiny portion of people? If we are not focusing on the quantity, we're going to focus on the quality, then
Right.
how do you deepen the quality of the relationships you have with people on LinkedIn?
Great question. And I hope most listeners listen to this and ask themselves the same questions, because most business owners simply don't ask themselves this question. So when you go to LinkedIn, the first step is to analyze your network. You do that by going to LinkedIn and clicking on My Network and then your connections. And then what you would do is basically scroll and see those people. And at the end, you would say, okay, out of the 50 people I'm connected with, do I know all of them? Do I know 20% of them? Or do I know 80% of them? Some people think they know their network, but this exercise would help them understand that they don't know some of them. So first, analyze your network and really understand, do you know 100%, 0%, or something in between?
Mm.
And if you discover that you, for example, know only 60%, the action to perform would be to look at the 40% you do not know and ask yourself, if those people are asked about Perry, or they're asked about evolvemetrics.com, would they ask Perry who? Or would you say, hey, you've got to work with him. You've got to buy his course. You've got to listen to the Evolve Metric Station. And what we want is the second answer. So trim your network and connect with people you know well, and then it will be easier for you to translate those or convert those into revenues. On the other hand, Perry, if you have 25,000 connections, then you're closer to the most connected. Continue. But if you're stuck with 5,000 and you think you have exposure, exposure starts with 30 or 40K. So you don't have exposure.
Mm.
You polluted the quality of your network and you only gained marginal exposure. Pick one. I know it's hard. Pick one. Most or best?
I'm pretty sure the listeners are pretty clear with the answer with that. So, for those people who want to learn more about how to actually go deep with the audiences or networks that they want to build on LinkedIn, or, well, I should say in more general, how do they deepen with that quality relationship? Do you have some advice, a quick advice, and for them to build their network that way that goes deep, not just on, the quantity side?
Cool. So let's offer something to the Evolve Metric Station listeners. If that works for you, what I could do is share with you a link that would enable listeners to download for free a product that's on my website for sale, and it's entitled Double Your Sales with Strong Connections. So we'll have a unique URL, and anyone listening to this and downloading the guide would have access to the exact guide without paying anything, and they would find the step-by-step framework to convert or leverage their connections in the best possible way.
That's great. So, as you for the listeners, as you just heard from Daniel, there will be a link attached. There will be some show notes below. There should be some link that you can click on the web page here that you can download. Go check it out. So, for those people who want to follow you, Daniel, for more information, where should they go to?
Thank you very much. DanielAlfon.com is the place to go.
Cool. So, yep, that's a great conversation we had here, Daniel. Thank you very much for sharing the details for everybody who's interested in growing their network, growing the deeper connection. Go check out Daniel Alfon's website, danielalfon.com. Thank you very much, Daniel, for sharing.
Perry, it's a pleasure to speak with you, and thanks for helping the business community with the Evolve Metric Station podcast.
Talk soon. Thank you.